Have you ever found yourself stuck, mindlessly scrolling through your phone, binge watching shows, or cleaning your room, when you know there's something important you should be doing? You feel the weight of the task pressing on your chest, a growing sense of anxiety whispering, you should be working on this. But instead, you do anything but the task. You procrastinate. And even though you know it's hurting your progress, your goals, and your peace of mind, you just can't stop. Kindly subscribe, like, comment and share this video. But why? Procrastination isn't just a simple matter of laziness or poor time management. It's much deeper. It's psychological, emotional, and often rooted in your perception of discomfort, fear, and failure. Let's break it down. 1. The brain's need for comfort, emotional avoidance. At the core of procrastination is emotional regulation. When you think about a task that feels overwhelming, difficult, or unpleasant, your brain interprets it as a threat, not to your life, but to your emotional well-being. You might feel anxious about not doing it right, bored by how dull it is, or stressed by how long it might take. In that moment, your brain searches for relief. It wants to escape the discomfort. And the easiest way to do that? Avoid the task entirely. So instead of diving into the work, you scroll, snack, or distract yourself. This gives you a quick hit of relief. The problem is, it's temporary. Later, when the task is still waiting, the pressure builds, and you feel even worse. And so the cycle continues. 2. Perfectionism and the fear of failure. Many procrastinators are actually perfectionists. They want everything they do to be flawless, excellent, admired. But this desire for perfection can become paralyzing. You might think, if I can't do it perfectly, I'd rather not start at all. This creates a mental loop. You avoid starting because the standard you've set is too high. And when you avoid, you feel guilty. That guilt triggers even more fear and self-doubt, which leads to more avoidance. It's not about being lazy. It's about being scared. 3. Low self-worth and self-sabotage. Sometimes, you procrastinate because deep down, you don't believe you're capable. You might tell yourself, I'm not smart enough for this, or, I always mess things up anyway. This inner critic feeds procrastination by convincing you that starting the task will only prove your worst fears, that you'll fail, fall short, or be judged. So to protect yourself, you avoid. It's not logical, but emotionally, it's a defense mechanism. You procrastinate not because you don't care, but because you care too much. 4. The seduction of instant gratification. Your brain is wired for survival. It seeks pleasure and avoids pain. And in today's world, instant gratification is everywhere: phones, games, social media, entertainment. When faced with a hard task versus something fun and easy, your brain naturally chooses the latter. Why write a report when a 15-second video is just one tap away? Why start studying when you can feel good instantly by chatting with a friend? The long-term rewards of completing the task feel too distant. Your brain wants to feel better now, even if it means you'll suffer more later. 5. Lack of structure and clarity. Sometimes, it's not even fear or perfectionism. It's confusion. When a task feels too vague or too big, your brain gets overwhelmed. You might think, I don't even know where to start, or, this is going to take forever. Without a clear starting point, your brain hits a wall. And when overwhelmed, you shut down and delay. The key here isn't motivation, it's clarity. When you break things down into small, doable steps, the resistance often melts away. 6. Fatigue, burnout, and emotional exhaustion. Let's not forget, you might be procrastinating because you're genuinely exhausted. Mental fatigue can disguise itself as procrastination. You might think you're being lazy, but in reality, your brain is tired. Maybe you've been pushing yourself too hard, juggling too much, or dealing with silent emotional stress. In these moments, your body is asking for rest, but your mind is still focused on productivity. The result: conflict, guilt, and procrastination. 7. The cycle of shame and guilt. Perhaps the most painful part of procrastination is the emotional aftermath. After hours of delay, you feel guilt, shame, frustration. You beat yourself up. You call yourself lazy, unmotivated, or useless. This negative self-talk only deepens the emotional discomfort that started it all. Ironically, this self-criticism makes it even harder to start the next time. And the cycle repeats. So, what can you do about it? The first step is to understand that procrastination isn't a character flaw. It's a coping mechanism, a sign that you're struggling with something deeper, emotionally, mentally, or even physically. Once you're aware of the why, you can begin to take small steps. Break tasks into chunks. Practice self-compassion. Reduce distractions. Reward progress. Get rest. And remind yourself that starting, even small, is a victory. Because procrastination isn't about time management. It's about emotional management. And once you learn to manage that, you unlock the freedom to move forward, one step at a time. Powerful ways to stop procrastinating. Procrastination feels like a trap, but the good news is, there are ways to break free. You don't need superhuman motivation, just small, smart strategies that actually work. Here are powerful, research-backed methods to stop procrastinating and start taking control of your time, energy, and focus. 1. Break tasks into smaller steps. Big tasks feel overwhelming. Your brain sees a mountain and says, too hard. I'll do it later. Solution. Break the mountain into pebbles. Instead of saying, write the report, say, open a blank document. Write the title. Write the first paragraph. Tiny steps lower resistance. Once you begin, momentum kicks in. 2. Use the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. If it takes more than 2 minutes, just commit to starting it for 2 minutes. Often, starting is the hardest part. But once you begin, you'll probably keep going. Your brain moves from resistance to action. 3. Time blocking and scheduling. Don't rely on vague intentions like, I'll do it later. Instead, block time on your calendar. Say, from 10 o'clock to 10:30, I'll work on my project. Treat it like an appointment you can't miss. Structure beats motivation. 4. Eliminate distractions. Your phone, notifications, and open tabs steal your focus. Create a distraction-free zone. Turn off alerts. Use apps like Forest, Freedom, or Cold Turkey to block temptations. Clean your workspace. A clear space often leads to a clear mind. 5. Practice the 5-second rule. From author Mel Robbins, when you feel the urge to delay, count down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. This short countdown interrupts your habit loop and activates decision-making in your brain. It pushes you to act before your mind talks you out of it. 6. Reward yourself. Your brain loves rewards. Use that to your advantage. Say, if I finish this task, I'll watch an episode of my favorite show. Create a positive feedback loop. Make productivity feel good. 7. Use visual reminders. Place sticky notes, quotes, or visual cues where you can see them. Remind yourself why the task matters. Seeing your goals helps reinforce your intention to act. 8. Don't wait for motivation. Create it. Most people think they need to feel motivated before they act. But action comes before motivation. When you take a small step, you build momentum. Progress fuels motivation, not the other way around. 9. Be kind to yourself. Procrastination often comes with guilt and self-criticism. That only makes things worse. Instead, practice self-compassion. Tell yourself, I'm struggling right now, and that's okay. I can still try again. Shame paralyzes. Kindness activates. 10. Get an accountability partner. Share your goal with a friend, coach, or group. When someone else knows what you're working on, you're more likely to follow through. You don't want to say, I didn't do it, week after week. That social accountability works. Final thoughts. Beating procrastination isn't about becoming perfectly productive. It's about understanding your habits, adjusting your mindset, and taking small, consistent steps. You won't win every battle, but with the right strategies, you'll win more than you lose. And progress, even slow progress, is better than perfection. Kindly subscribe, like, comment and share if you enjoyed watching this video.